Bro, this is actually nutty. It is. It's so crazy, man. Americans we are so cooked. Like, anyone that believes this is the most cooked person on the planet.
Riyadh, Berlin, Beijing.
Yeah. CPAC, of course, was filled to the brim with people who were maybe high on copious amounts of ketamine or other kinds of drugs. Elon Musk. And of course, Nazis. And here is a Nazi who has felt left out since Elon Musk has been sig heiling a lot and once again retaining the favor of all of the worst losers online. That Nazi is Steve Bannon. Let's take a look at what he did.
Beijing, Moscow, the city of London, right here. This is not beatable.
By the way, Steve Bannon replicates Elon Musk's controversial salute to CPAC. Just say it's a Nazi salute, man. What is happening? Why are we doing this? Like, I like that the media just keeps refusing to recognize exactly what this is. Okay? Oh, it's a controversial salute. Like, just say what it is, man. Your job is to say the truth. What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
You can't. The only way we lose is if we quit. The only way we don't have victory if we surrender. The only way that they win is we retreat. And we're not going to retreat. We're not going to surrender. We're not going to quit. Fight, fight, fight.
Like very clearly, there is already internal drama between Steve Bannon and Elon Musk. Bannon hates Musk. Musk is doing everything Bannon wanted to do. Musk's Twitter is a more effective far-right narrative machine compared to Breitbart. DOGE is doing what Bannon wanted to do. This is correct, okay? I've read extensively into the background of Steve Bannon, and I've talked about him quite a bit last time around. Steve Bannon feels a little bit sidelined. I mean, he, after all, went to jail for his loyalty, right? Or at least for, doing some side deals. Steve Bannon was Donald Trump's guy, right? First time around. He got him big donors, the Mercers specifically. Like, he helped them out. He is part of the reason why Donald Trump became president the first time. Steve Bannon is the OG. Having said that, Elon Musk was able to, with all of his wealth, purchase Twitter and turn it into a much more effective, much larger Nazi creating machine. Elon Musk also was able to actively undermine the regulatory agencies and destroy the federal apparatus in ways that Steve Bannon could never dream of. This is part of the reason why Steve Bannon keeps saying that Elon Musk is a parasitic illegal immigrant who should be cast aside, who should be kicked out. Except when directly asked about Elon Musk, he, of course, will also say stuff like, oh, actually, he's great. He's doing a great job. I'm still skeptical of him. I think this is a reasonable take on what's going on. There's great karma in the fact that Bannon was replaced by an immigrant from Africa to boot. Okay? I mean, all jokes aside, that is the real resentment that Bannon has for Elon Musk, because Elon Musk is doing everything that he dreamt of doing, everything that he wasn't even able to successfully do. Steve Bannon wrote a whole D&D campaign and got kicked out of his own group after rolling characters. What? I don't know about this part, but Steve Bannon did actually actively get gold farms to be... Like, Steve Bannon, when he was working at Goldman Sachs, it was responsible for Goldman Sachs investing in gold farming in China, I think, for WoW. He literally did do that. That is real. What is this? It's one of the last books I've read many, many years ago at this point. Was it Devil's Bargain, I believe? Great book. Oh, you were just giving a nerd example of how he got ditched. Okay. Don't lie, you don't read. I mean, I do read, but not full books any longer. I rarely ever have time to do that. Steve Bannon also saw importance in, he looked at Gamergate after his experiences with the gold farmers and like the gaming community in general, and thought, we could probably use these guys to do free media online. That was somewhat effective. I think that now, especially, that has become a prominent fixture of the Trump campaign. But now he's getting sidelined by Elon Musk, who somehow is just as repulsive as Steve Bannon, for the record. and has, in a different way, also a horrifying sense of style. Their sartorial decisions are shocking to me. Okay, let's continue.
The issue that they're going to have is the...
Oops, sorry. The previous video was very low.
And that's what Elon Musk has been doing with DOGE. And he took the stage yesterday at CPAC with a chainsaw, demonstrating essentially what he's been doing.
Cool. Oh, it was so cool.
To our federal government, getting rid of all the waste, fraud, and abuse. Here it is.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw.
So the guy on stage with him that's waving, that's the president of Argentina, and he gifted Elon that blinged out chainsaw that Elon was holding up because both of them are known for cutting wasteful
Did in his
spending.
country.
Right. My problem with Milu is he's tight with China, and he's reaffirming things with China. But he.
My problem with Meilu. God damn, dude. My problem with Meilu is that he's tight with China. Professional political commentators love that, dude. Love that. Okay, Brian. I'm Brian. Kill me.
He also is friends with Elon Musk, and he said, "Here, take this chainsaw," and he made the most of it. And you see him getting the chainsaw handed to him in backstage, and he walks out there. But then he got serious. He says, "Look, I'm trying to do something really important. Watch."
People ask me, what's the most surprising thing that you've encountered when you go to D.C., when you're in D.C.? And I said, well, the most surprising thing is the scale of the expenditures. And actually...
How is that surprising? You are the expenditure recipient. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, it's so surprising that these dumbasses give me unlimited funds. That's surprising. Like, no, it's not surprising to you. You demand more of it. As a matter of fact, now with all of the extra control that you have over federal expenditures, you are going to get more of it. We're just cutting out the middlemen, okay? All Elon is doing is putting a chainsaw to the corporate lobbyists by basically coming in and going, all right, you know what? We've decided we don't even need the corporate lobbyists. We'll do it ourselves. We'll just directly be in the room. Malay, the poverty rate was 40%. Now it's at a 40-year high of 52%. This is libertarian economics at work. Excuse me. That means instead of 40% of the public having to pick themselves up by their bootstraps, now you got 52% of the public having to pick themselves up by their bootstraps. That's a good thing. That means more Sigma grind set. Okay. Hello, bigger number is better. Did we forget? I am so confused. What a confusing prospect for me. A person who is dumb and thinks right wing good, left wing bad.
How easy it is to, when you add caring and competence where it was absent before, you can actually save billions of dollars, sometimes in an hour.
Yeah.
Like it's wild, but obviously it just shows that they really lack empathy for the average taxpayer who's working hard, paying taxes, and then they say, oh, $1 million doesn't matter. I'm like, I think it matters a lot to people, you know. So what are you talking about?
So I'm so conflicted about DOGE because on one hand, of course, I support everything that was happening, but I feel like it's in the rundown every single day. I'm like, oh, it's DOGE, 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 DOGE. And then I go out there and I talk with the American people every single day, and that's all they're talking about is DOGE. People that are not really political, they want to see where the money is going. They want the waste to go away. And I think there's this spirit amongst Americans now. When they look at their circumstance, they look at their family struggling, some of them living paycheck to paycheck, and they see some of this outrageous spending. They're wondering why they haven't gotten some of that money. I think it's the top story every single day for a reason. It's something that resonates with the American people.
Yeah, and Elon Musk said it's going to save Medicare. It's going to save Social Security. He said this is not optional. It is essential. He said treating the government's money is no different than the way you would treat your check.
Bro, this is actually nutty. It is. It's so crazy, man. Americans we are so cooked. Like, anyone that believes this is the most cooked person on the planet, okay? For example, $1 spent on the IRS returns to the government coffers like tenfold, okay? That means we can spend more money on initiatives like fixing the goddamn potholes, okay? Fixing education, any number of different things that are infinitely more helpful for regular Americans, okay? The greatest example of this is Elon Musk claiming that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, needed to be dismantled. It had a $1 billion budget. It's true, it did. They had only used $250 million of the $1 billion budget so far. Elon said, we're going to cut this, okay? We're going to cut this regulatory body that was an absolute necessity that was put in place after the financial crisis of 2008, okay? Elon Musk said, we're taking this away. We're taking this regulatory agency away from the American public. That agency with a $1 billion budget, only using $200 million so far, was able to claw back $21 billion of ill-gotten gains through fraud and abuse from corporations that were f***ing over the American consumers and deliver it back to the American consumers. So for $1 billion, they returned to the American consumers $21 billion, okay? Directly. It's not even the IRS at this point. Directly back into your pockets. Now, Elon Musk, on the other hand, claims that, oh, well, there's still $700 million in the tank. Let's just give it. Let's just give it to the American people directly. Okay, you get $3 in return. The f*** are you talking about? What's the better... What serves a better purpose? Billions of dollars of stolen revenue returned back to the consumers for the meager price of $250 million with an agency that could continue working. Clearly, corporate corruption has not gone away. They're still doing fraud. Okay? Or $3 in your pocket. What do you think? What do you think is better? What do you think is a smarter use of resources? The reason why I explain this process is because it is one of the clear-cut, it's an example that they refuse to reckon with because there is no defense of it. It is such an obvious instance of eliminating an agency that was protecting consumers from billionaire corporations and billionaires that were stealing from you. Okay? People like Elon Musk and his buddies hated the CFPB, and they wanted to eradicate it, and then you'll get $3 in return. When the agency existed, you were getting hundreds of dollars in regular frequency if people were stealing from you. If corporations were stealing from you, CFPB goes in, they forcibly claw back those instances of theft and give it back to you. It's basically like good cops, okay? Good finance cops. Think about that. But of course, as the case, the only cops that do get defunded are ones that work in the field of finance, in the regulatory agencies.
Checking account. A person who overspends, he says, usually goes bankrupt. We're spending more than we're taking in, and he's saying we've got to start cutting. And that's just, you might not like it, you might lose your job, but he's saying we don't have a choice. 6,700
IRS workers are going to lose their jobs. And there is some personal stories of people coming in, they're locked out of their computer. They get an email that they're done, and they say it's over performance. They say, I never even got a performance review.
They're terrorists.
Both could be true. You could have bad performance and no performance review, which is part of the problem with the federal government. There's no accountability in the big story. And if you look at what the IRS is, very few people outside Joe Biden's family thought it was a great idea to add 87,000 agents. So they were gradually adding them. Now they're going to be cutting them back. Now they're going to look at the Pentagon. Do you notice that the Treasury, Education, as soon as Linda McMahon gets there, has already mentioned it, everyone's saying, and Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, please come. Yeah. Please cut. They're going to add money to defense, but they got to get smarter. 700,000 civilian employees. How many are absolutely necessary? How much are doing redundant work? And the
dude. This isn't like, there is no real redundancy in the federal government. If anything, we need more, okay? We need more redundancy, especially when it comes to regulations and safety, okay? There's no such thing as efficiency when it comes to safety. There's no such thing as redundancy when it comes to safety. Redundancy is good, okay? That is a good thing. Not only is redundancy a good thing, but also we're doing mass layoffs at a time when the federal government needs more people working for it, not less. Whether it be FEMA, whether it be the Army Corps of Engineers, as we talked about yesterday. It's ridiculous. You know who's actually redundant? Dumbass Fox News commentators. You know who's actually redundant and needs cuts? Billionaires, okay? Billionaires and millionaires who run corporations. Corporations can run without them. I promise you. That is the real redundancy.
The reason why speed matters, if you think about it logically, the longer you take, the more people dig in and go, yeah, don't cut my program. Republicans do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's in my state. Don't do that. But if you come in with an outside force, which DOGE is, not anchored to a secretary position, and you say this is what's best for the country, also, I got deniability. I didn't cut $6,700 from the IRS. Maybe many of those are in my district. Even though it's better for the country, it's better for my political career. So you get two things. You're not responsible for it, and it was the responsible thing to do in the big picture.
It gives them the political cover that they need when they're dealing with
I think so. That's why you don't take your time.
This is true.
And you do make mistakes, but you walk it back when you do.
So this is something I'm not proud of. One person that has become a star of the Democratic Party is from Dallas, Texas, my hometown. Her name is Jasmine Crockett, and you're seeing her all over the networks, and she's making the case for Democrats. And she says that her party is not in the business of just giving out money. This is the Congresswoman.
Now, President Trump says he likes the idea of giving some of the savings from DOGE back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
No, we are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you if you are unable to find a job, because I am telling people we are headed towards a recession.
But Ainsley, they are. That's all they do.
She says we're not in the business of giving out money, yet she was one of the ones. There were 130 Democrats who co-sponsored a bill to establish a commission on reparation proposals in 2023. She also has supported student loans, the Democrats have, illegal migrant stipends and those debit cards, also the hotel rooms for illegal immigrants, drug kits for addicts. We've seen that there are places, safe places where you can go and shoot up in California, and the Democrats have supported that. They're giving a lot of money out to what Republicans think and Donald Trump thinks is wasteful spending.
Look, we differ. I actually want it paying down the debt. I don't want to give $5,000 back to people, even though it's your taxpayer dollars. That's what she seems to be forgetting. This is not your money. It is these are taxpayer.
All right.